Welcome to Heart of the Matter podcast. I'm your host, Sherry J, and we're back with another episode, episode 5. So I'm super excited to be back with you on this episode. I apologize for the late arrival. Oh my God, I had a lot of technical difficulties. I wish I could have said something, but I wasn't able to. But thanks again for joining in on our 5th episode of Heart of the Matter podcast, where we discuss the issues that matter most to your heart. So we're going to be talking today about the Keke Palmer situation, the story that's been viral for the last couple weeks or so, or actually, like I think a week. And since this is more of like a male versus like female opinion issue, I'm definitely going to have my honorary host come in soon, and he's going to just discuss some things with us. So, what I want to say real quickly about the issue is that I'm a woman and I stand for women, but I also stand for what's right. And I've always liked Keke Palmer growing up. Always thought Keke Palmer was very classy, very just I mean, she carried herself very well to me. I haven't, I don't know the new Keke Palmer who she is yet because I haven't followed her as much. But I do feel like maybe Kiki having a baby, pretty much could have just triggered her just wanting to, because after you have kids, a lot of times you're like, I just want to get back to my old self. And she got a little body now. And I think she just wanted to show, like, not show, but she just was having fun, I think. Do I think what she had on was kind of inappropriate? Yeah, I do. I mean, I know what we wear nowadays and a lot of things you can't buy things that's really covering a lot of stuff. But I mean, I have to speak to what's right. We know we shouldn't be wearing it, but we wear it. And I just feel like was she on Usher a little bit too much? I think she was having fun. Like she was at the Usher concert and she was having fun. So, but I know a lot of guys said it was really disrespectful, and even her, I guess her boyfriend spoke out against her and just said that she's a family woman, she has a baby, and she shouldn't be doing such things, which I agree. I agree as well. But I just think that it was more so it wasn't that she was trying to be disrespectful, although she was disrespectful. Does that make sense? Hopefully, I'm making sense because I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of doing the wrong thing. I'm all a fan for doing the right thing. I feel like in this situation, it was more of a I guess it was miscommunication because I think he could have waited to say something when she got home to kind of like put her in her place, right? But then I also think that, she did openly kind of, I guess, embarrass him or whatever we would say, you know. I feel like the outfit she had on was a little bit inappropriate because it did show her butt cheeks. But that's just what the stars are wearing, and I'm not in agreement with it because we are supposed to conduct ourselves in a modest way. We are supposed to leave something to the imagination. Like back in the day, our grandmothers would always be like, you don't have to show everything, baby. You can leave something to the imagination so that way they can figure it out. And I feel like this society nowadays, we don't leave anything to the imagination. We're always showing everything we have off. And that's no difference with the stars. I mean, because they're technically not our role models, they are stars. Um, but I just think it's a good topic because us as like men and women locally that are not like in the public eye, we need to kind of evaluate this situation. Because if this was your spouse, like would you want your wife dressing like this, or your girlfriend? Let's not even say, because I think they're not even married. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're just in a relationship and they just had a baby. But would you want your girlfriend, your woman, dressing like this when she goes out? Is it okay with you? If I have any males or men on here, just let me know what you think. I did put a post up, and a couple guys did say like, no, I don't want my woman, like, showing all her goods off. I mean, so we got to think about that. And I know a lot of times men always say, like, listen, you got to be a wife before you are a wife, before you are actually married. You actually have to be doing the things that you would do in a marriage. So I know people said She isn't married to him. They're not married, things like that. But I do believe you do have to be practicing those things and doing some of those things before you get married. Do I think you're going to be perfect at everything? I don't, but I think there should be boundaries set. So I want to know, I mean, if you guys disagree with what I'm saying or do you agree? What do you feel or what is your take on this whole situation? Was it disrespectful for her to just be at the Usher concert enjoying herself and she did have to have like a skimpy outfit on and she has a man at home, or was her fiance overreacting? Like was he just doing the most by um making a post about her and just saying that women aren't family women. So I'm staying in the middle. I want some answers from you guys. I see some people on here. I want you guys to let me know, what do you think? Um, what do you think? Let me know. Drop some comments below. I'm trying to get my guests on, so I want you guys to just give me some input. If you're on, say hi, say hello, so I know who I'm talking to. But again, like I said, I don't want to give all the answers. I just want to hear what you guys have to say. One second, let me see if I can get. Where is my guest? I'm trying to bring my guest on as well, my host on, so he can actually give some input because he's a guy, and I don't want to answer for the men because I'm not a man. But yeah, okay, all right. Hey, Tony, glad for your input. Glad for you to be here with some good input. So, okay, Tony, you said I don't know the whole story, but if your significant other is there, you can't run on the stage like that, right? But no, he was okay. So her significant other, I don't think was there. He was at home, I believe. Was he there? Somebody let me know. But I don't believe he was at home. I think he saw it and he commented on it. I don't believe he was there. However, I think right, like you said, he was there, then she should respect, what he says. Even if he's not there, I think she should respect coming on stage, or whatever in an inappropriate way. But I think that's something they should have had established at the beginning of the relationship. I mean, I think they've been together for 2 years. So if they've been together for 2 years, there's some boundaries that should already be set and they should already know like what you can and cannot do. It shouldn't be like, no, this is surprising. Oh my goodness. You know, I just don't see how, this was misconstrued in this way and that, you know, he didn't know she dressed like this, but I don't know. I really don't see her dressing like this. This is really new to me. Hey, Melita, do you have any input? Because I'm really trying to stay neutral because I'm a woman and I feel like right. If I'm told like my man, if my husband said, "Listen, don't wear that," I'm not gonna wear it. Okay, I might be a little mad. It's like no, but no, I'm not gonna wear it because I do understand the respect level. And I feel like she was partly wrong. I think he could have also told her maybe not in public, maybe when she got home. Especially if this is her first time doing this. Okay, so Tony says, so if it's a regular girl, I wouldn't sweat it. But with her being a celebrity, it's not a good look. Yes, I agree. But Tony, these celebrities do so much. That's why I'm like, celebrities are always doing crazy things. They do so much, so many different things that I mean, we shouldn't pattern our life after celebrities because they're just there for a check, I think, most of the time, you know? Okay, here's my honorary host. What's up, Ken? What you got to say?
Just getting in. I don't know what you guys been saying so far. So, what's the
Okay, so
question?
he's just getting in. So we were just talking about well, Tony was saying that he didn't know the whole story, but he just thought it wasn't of course appropriate for her to, be out on stage like that. I'm trying to stay neutral, right? Cuz I love my ladies too. And I mean, and I'm not staying neutral as far as like, telling the truth. I think that my opinion is I think she should have I think he shouldn't have maybe called her out in public like that. And I think that she shouldn't have worn it and she shouldn't have been on stage like that, right? I don't think it was anything wrong with her being happy to see Usher and on the stage, but I think it wasn't appropriate for her to dress that way. But I also do think that maybe he could have told her, pulled her to the side when she got home to say something about it. What's your take?
Yeah, he probably should have handled it better as far as like wait till she got home. At least that's what I would have done. But some people were saying like, well, she disrespected and embarrassed him in public. So why can't his response be open out in public like, what she did to him? Me personally, I would have waited till she got home.
Right. Okay.
And it wasn't
If
really about what she wore as much as it was about her being all up on Usher like she was. That was his real problem.
it was more about what she had on.
No, it was more about her being all over Usher.
Oh, I thought it was the outfit.
No, it wasn't the outfit. The outfit was part of it, but it was the outfit coupled with her being all over Usher.
Oh, I thought. Okay,
Because
let me
you
see what
see,
he said again.
Usher tried to do that to another dude's girl a couple days later, and she jumped away from Usher and got on her dude's lap.
So look, this is what he said. His name is Darius Dalton. He said, "We live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother of his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case." So to him, it was about her showing her booty cheeks, like for everybody
That's
to
what he's
see.
saying. That's what he's saying because he worried about people calling him insecure when it come to Usher. But it really was more about Usher than it was Booty Cheeks because he probably saw her leave the house in that. Unfortunately,
That's what I was wondering. Like, if they lived together, didn't he see her? That's what I was
yeah,
wondering.
he
Like,
saw
he
her leave
should have
out
stopped her
that. He
then.
probably didn't like it, but he saw her leave out the house in that. It was about Usher.
Mm.
That's what it was
Okay.
about. It was
See,
about her causing the mistake.
Jaredin, Miss Anderson, my granny. I'm sorry, y'all. She says it's all about respecting yourself wherever you are. Exactly, granny. Periods. Respect yourself wherever you are, no matter where you are. You should be respectful. You should be dressing a certain way, and I believe that. That's why, my name is Modesty. But no, I do believe we should be modest. Was I always modest? No. I used to, dress all kinds of weird and do all kinds of crazy stuff, back in the day too. And I know she's only 29. So I know that comes with age comes growth in it. And because she's in this light, she's automatically going to have to follow after, what they're telling her to do. Because, like I said, Kiki Palmer, to me, when I used to watch her, she dressed really nice. She handled herself well to me. And I just think now, society's just taking over at this point. But Tony, you agree he handled it wrong as well. Hey Melita, you said I just came to give stars. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I agree with Granny as what she said about respecting yourself. And I think the society we have lost respect as women. Now I mean we can just tell that. You can look it up. Like how many twerk videos can you see a day? Like they everywhere. Like you can see all kinds of, ratchet stuff, behavior, not just women, men doing it too. And so we've lost respect for ourselves as a society, and we actually need to kind of get it back because I mean, if you don't respect yourself, you can't expect anyone else to respect you. And in this situation, I just feel like I agree that she was wrong as far as you know, showcasing her goods. And he said that this is his wife. So I don't know, are they married or not? Because I don't know, Ken, do you think it holds a different weight, right? If this is her husband versus her boyfriend or man? I'll tell you what I think.
Um, slightly, slightly, because my position has always been that the relationship is an audition for the marriage. So I don't see people flipping switches once you get a ring on her finger that to stuff she wasn't already doing. I don't see
Mhm.
that happening. Like if a woman is a certain way before you marry her, what's going to change her once you marry her? That's usually a
Right.
cop out. So no, I don't think that's that way. It's same with a man. If a man say, "Hey, I want to be a provider type dude, but I'm only doing it for my wife," it's a little sketchy. He's probably just not the type of dude. He's just talking good. Um, the same way with this situation, they're saying, well, he can't tell her nothing because they're not married and all that. Even if they were to get married, that's this right here is a sign that he won't be able to tell her anything once they're married too. It's not going to just no magical flip once you sign paperwork. It's no, she's going to be that way. I do think the wife and the husband title holds more weight than just boyfriend and girlfriend, of course.
Right.
But you usually can kind of tell what a person going to be about, whether y'all married or not, before the marriage.
Right. So I agree with that as well. That's what I was gonna say. I think a boyfriend and girlfriend or a man, that's your man, that's your woman versus husband and wife. I think it should still be like similar, the same respect level because eventually you're trying to move towards marriage. So if that's the goal here, then you do have to kind of do what you would do before you would get married. So you have to be listening like you would before you got married. And I used to be doing this too. I used to be like, you if you ain't my husband, you can't tell me. So I used to do that too. So I understand the society's take on that and a lot of women saying, well, they ain't married, he can't tell her. And you do have to look at it that way. Just because you do get married, it doesn't mean you're gonna automatically do what you're supposed to do. That just solidifies your relationship. And so however you were acting before is most likely how you're going to be acting in the marriage. And that's my take. So I
Yeah, I agree.
see. Oh, okay. That's just Melita said, right. Okay. But I mean, it's really a simple topic to understand. We just have to understand that um I think in this incident, Keke, and I seen a lot of TikTok videos of her, and she was going in like she was singing burn to him. I guess she was saying it to him like, I think you should let it burn. I'm gonna walk away. She was singing the lyrics. I don't know if nobody saw that. She did a video talking about you mess up. She gonna do something. I don't know if y'all seen it, but she was doing a lot of like, I'm
Yeah, you
like, do
mess
they even
up,
stay
you gonna
together at
wake up.
this point?
Yeah,
Did you see it?
yeah, it might be just. Yeah, I saw a part of that. It might just be some antics to get some traction for her relevance, because
Right,
she might be kind of falling into where nobody really talking about her no more. She's not really getting the same movie roles or stuff like that. That may be happening, and maybe she needed a spark. Sometimes
right.
celebrity will do things like this to get a
Yeah,
spark.
they do things like that,
Get the name
and
back being spoken
and
again.
they good at home. Got everybody mad at each other, like, but they all good
Yeah.
at home. That's what I said. I was like, she going too far. But like, I think sometimes, after you have a baby, you are sometimes like self conscious, like you feel like okay, you feel like what I'm saying. You kind of feel ugly like when you doing them 9 months. Not ugly, but you don't feel yourself in those 9 months. And then after it's over, you like, yep, I'm back. It's me, and that could be the case. And she was just happy, like she's back, and she was looking good, and now she got some curves. She got some little baby weight, so it could have been the case as well. I just think that it was just a good issue to point out that we as women, we got to respect what our man says. No, we do got to respect what he says as far as how he feels about us stressing, because he's the owner of our body, right? That's your husband. He's the man. He's the one who says, the body is for him, just like his body is for you. So we got to respect that he's telling her to put some clothes on. And even if it is just for likes and just for some type of traction, I think it's still a good message that he is trying to be a traditional family man and he's trying to make sure his wife is covered up and not showing the world his goods and being respectful.
Mm.
She does have a son now, and I think you should be respectful regardless to whether you have children, but it just comes, it's a greater responsibility once you become a mom, you know how that goes, because now you got little ones looking at you. But
Mhm.
all in all, I just feel like this topic was just a good topic to make us evaluate ourselves, right? Are we respectful? Are we wearing what we should be wearing appropriately? Because I know that as women, sometimes it's hard to even find things. If y'all own your women, y'all know that sometimes you're looking for stuff in the stores and it's just not there. Like everything you find is a little like raunchy and just it's kind of just showing things and revealing, and that's all that is to wear. And I know she's a star, so she has no excuse. But I'm just talking about us regular folks that, us women, we do have to try to do better to look a certain way as far as just, respecting ourselves because it does say a lot about you about how you wear things, how you present yourself, how you look. If any fellas are on here, like if you see a woman dressed, like all crazy, I mean, because I did see a lot of men saying that they didn't care that he was like a simp and he was overreacting too. Like a lot of men was going in on this guy, and I was surprised to see that. because I'm like, I thought most men, they didn't want their wives or women to be showing off their goods, but it was kind of backwards. What you
When
thinking?
you got these new age men, just like you got the new age women. The new age men call anything simping. When you show that you care any way at all about your lady, it's a simp move. It's stupid and it's degenerate. Um, him him being a simp would have been him letting her go out any kind of way and do all that stuff and not say anything. That's being a simp. You correcting it, like I said, he did correct it out of emotion. That's why he came public with it. He shouldn't have done it that way. He should have kept his composure and done it at home, in house, and took care of it that way. It would have been cool. Um, Again, if it's a real thing, if it's not just a thing for her getting some attention to her name, then yeah, he did handle it wrong. She was out inappropriately. I mean, it wasn't just a skimpy little dress. Her whole booty was out, the whole thing. It
Yeah.
was just like, come on now, it's a bit much. And not only that, you're in another man's face and all up on him, y'all hugged up, singing and serenading each other. It's like, come on, even if it is Usher, it's like
I
it
mean, it's
doesn't matter.
Usher.
It's, it's, yeah,
Sorry.
that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. But if you go and see Nicki Minaj or somebody out here and you be all in her face, you know, then it's
Mhm.
it's a problem. It's a problem. So,
So
and that's
yeah,
why
you said these new age men are actually the ones that are calling things, calling these other men simps. They like he is simp.
yeah,
He should get over it.
anything a man do that shows that any care for a woman, guys are calling them simps. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No, it is. That's not. He wasn't being a simp. He was a little emotional because he could have handled it in house, but other than that, no, he wasn't being a simp. He did the right thing. He just to waited till she got home.
Right. I see. Melita says she didn't care. She did what she did and didn't care about what anyone else would say or feel about it. It was selfish, regardless. Okay, facts.
Yeah, it was selfish. It was definitely selfish because you know, as a woman and as a man, either one of you, you represent your counterpart. You represent your mate. When you out doing whatever, you represent them. So if you out here looking like that, it says so much to other people about what you think of your man and what y'all situation or relationship is like. That's
So
like
what
that's
does it
like
say? I want to know. What
you
does
give
it say
you're
about?
not supposed to give other people outside a relationship a certain level of access to you. The more access you give outside people, the less regard and respect you have for your mate.
Hmm.
So it can't be just okay. Well, the only thing separates you and your mate and versus other people, outside people, is that you have physical intercourse with them, but you don't do it with anybody else. But everything else goes. It
Right.
has to be some kind of sanctity outside of just the bedroom in your relationship for that to be like, okay, this is my person, I am their person, or whatever, and that's all it is to it. And
Right.
it's just about us and our family. She went too far with the whole thing. Even if it was Usher, she went too far. It's another man at the end of the day, and he all up on her and stuff. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, I think she didn't think about that. I think she just thought like I'm having fun. It's Usher, and I think she probably didn't think about it, but she did have on something very inappropriate. So, and
She didn't care. Like you just said, she didn't care. She didn't care at all. All she cared about that night was herself.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like I already know like when you with somebody, you do want to represent them in a certain way because if somebody else sees this person, they're like, "Oh, I saw your man was all in this person's face or your woman was all doing this." They going to feel some type of way. So it's the same way I
Yeah,
guess when you dress, how you present yourself.
and most men are different. Women are don't because women were saying, oh no, a lot of them were saying, well, if you're not married, you're single. We know good and well most women don't really agree with that because if men started to use that, it would be a huge problem. If whenever a guy got caught texting some chick on the side, and you were like, hey, look, wait a minute, we're not married, I'm single. The
Right.
woman still gonna go upside his head. It don't matter. She's still gonna
Mhm.
flip on him.
Mhm.
So come on, let's not do that. Let's not do that because if we do it both ways and not use it as a double standard, then it's gonna be a problem. So you
Yeah.
should let your man should be able to tell you he don't want you to wear something, especially something that extreme.
Yeah. Yeah, that's simple though. That's simple to just say, "All right, I ain't gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear something different." That was so simple. It didn't have to even go that far.
It didn't. It did not.
But I mean, and it probably just went that far too because they're stars. So, but I mean, we can also use it for us and just, learn to respect one another or each other's wishes. And then you want to be a good representation of your husband. You want to, what I'm saying? You want people to say, oh, your wife dressed really nice, or, she's appropriate. You don't want other men to be like, looking at your wife and looking at everything that should be for your reserved for your eyes only. It shouldn't be broadcasted to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
a man's wife is what makes a lot of room for him in a lot of different ways. The way your wife carries herself and the way she moves makes people respect you more. And the way if she moves inappropriately, it makes them lose respect for you. So
so I
people have
see,
to understand that.
oh, I'm sorry, bro. I see, oh, hey, Rose. She said, who said that he asked her not to wear the outfit? No, we don't know if she did. We were just like thinking hypothetically, like, did he ask her not to, But I think we're just wondering, did he ask her? Because if he did, then that would have been like, she like, I'm wearing it anyway. But we're like, are they living together? If they live together, maybe they seen each other. But I know most of the time, sometimes you're not at home when, husband or wife leaves. So I get it. And Tony said big facts. So are you saying, Tony, you saying big facts too? The fact that he said, however your wife represents herself in public gives a man a certain amount of respect or so. Is that what you're saying? Big facts too? I think that's what he said. Big facts too. Okay. I'm waiting on him to type, but I know I'm talking faster than he can type. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, we're just hypothetically thinking like what could have happened. Did she have the outfit on? And then he was surprised when he seen her at Usher, like, oh no, there's my woman on stage showing her butt. Maybe
I
that's what
hope it didn't
happened.
go. That was even worse.
Right. So he got a surprise. He was turning the TV on.
You got a surprise. Man,
He look up, it's a
somebody must
viral
get his phone
post
like, hey
going.
man, look, tune in to such and such. Your girl out on the stage with Usher, and she look what she got on. You know what I'm saying? That's even worse than you know,
Yeah, he got a good
because you got
surprise.
some.
Like,
You don't seem like the type that was gonna take it off. He said no anyway. She don't seem like the type.
oh. Yeah, I think so that's why I agree that she could have been more appropriate with what she wore. I know a lot of women, like I know one of my girlfriends, I don't know if she's on here. She was like, people need to stop policing what she's wearing. And I'm like, well, I think it's only her husband that was policing that. I think everybody else just had a opinion, like, hey, I think it was inappropriate for her to wear it. I mean, but I know a lot of women just nowadays, we just think too open. It's okay to think open and have an open mind, but I think we think like so far open is like anything goes. I don't care. And it's like, dang, we crossing the line. I do
Yeah,
agree and think that he could have done it a different way. I don't think he had to put it on social media. Now, if she didn't listen to him, I think maybe he had a right to kind of do it then. But I think he could have waited till she got home and just said, well, babe, she could have probably publicly apologized. Who knows? But I think that he embarrassed her by, unless told her multiple times, and I get it, but we don't know because we're not in their relationship. We're just speaking on it from here. Um, Okay. Tony said, I'm saying big facts to what Ken has said about how your wife carries herself. It determines how people respect you. There you have it. From a man's point of view, I'm only giving my perspective from a woman's, but both of you guys are men, and you said that how a woman carries herself, how she dresses, it all
mm,
it all determines how somebody's going to respect you.
it does. It
Wow,
does.
I guess we didn't know that. It says he said, no matter what men got to control their emotions. Right,
Yeah,
right.
she should control herself and waited till she got home and took care of that way. That's what made her lash out and start doing more of that other stuff, singing
Yeah,
"Burn" and doing all that because she was embarrassed then because he put her
yeah,
on blast. So, so it's just going back and forth.
Yeah, I think that's what I say. I think that's what embarrassed her. That's what made her go back because she's like, "Oh, you gonna just embarrass me and put a post out talking about, you know?" So she was like, "Okay, I'm about to embarrass you." And I think had he, it could have de-escalated if he would have just kind of like waited. But I know he was probably mad when he saw it. I'm gonna go to Rose comment. She said, I wholeheartedly believe as a grown woman, she could make her own decisions on how to dress. I also think that if her person had a problem with it, then changing would have been best. That's what we agreeing on too. Like, I mean, we do feel like women can dress how, dress how you like. We also do believe it should be tasteful and respectful. And if you do have a man or a husband already, what is the point of dressing a certain way like you're still trying to attract another man? And you shouldn't dress like it anyways, if you have any type of class. But I do understand, you have a right to wear what you want to wear. But if he had an issue, he posted it. So I'm sure he had an issue if he would have saw her go out the house, or I don't know if he's seen her or what. But I agree that we should change if your husband has an issue about it or a man has an issue about it. But I think we should also know, like, that your butt is sticking out. Why do everybody got to see your butt? Why is that the trend now that everybody just sees your
That's the trend.
backside?
That's the trend.
What's
The
going
more you
on?
show, that's the better. That's what it is now.
Right, the more skin, the better. But I remember grandmas, and they used to say, anybody remember this? They used to say, I forgot what they used to say. But I know for sure they used to say leave something to the imagination. So I remember that, but it was something else they used to say too. But we don't have
Mhm.
those grandmas nowadays that will pull you to the side, and they'll be like, listen, take that off or pull that skirt down, so it's just getting out of hand. It's just getting out of hand. Rose said we are in a different
Liberation.
time and more stuff
All this
is
liberation.
acceptable. Huh?
All this liberation. Everything. Everybody doing
Women
what they want to do.
power. Right. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I do get it, Rose. We are in a different time and more stuff is acceptable. But I think
Acceptable to who?
right, I was gonna say that. It's acceptable to the world pretty much. But it shouldn't be acceptable, I think, in relationships. I think you should just because what is the point of showing everything? I get it. Some stuff be cute. But this time is messing us up because now little girls they gotta even wear they be looking so grown. You be like, dang, because the clothing is just made a certain way. They don't even make stuff to make it like modest or make it like where there's not showing so much. Everything is like that. Rose said, absolutely leave something to the imagination was a saying. Yep, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, nothing is left to the imagination. So I think it's I mean, is that why a lot of women are single? And I'm not saying, in a bad way, but is that why? Because a man knows everything he's getting? I don't know, Ken, what do you think about that?
Um, when it comes to wife and a woman, you take into consideration how she dresses. When it comes to laying with a woman, you don't necessarily care much.
Wow.
So if you just deal with her to have fun with her, she's just recreational. You don't care nothing about that. But if you take her seriously and you actually care about her, you're going to, hey, I need you to put more on because you become territorial as you when you become to care about her. If you don't care about her, you don't get as territorial about her. So
I
you like,
see.
okay, that's the me and me only. The more you care, like I said, if you don't care, you like, all right, whatever, do what you want to do. And I'm doing my thing too. So whatever, do you. So I don't know. That's a sign that he cares about her at least. And two, you have to take into consideration too, a woman dressed in a certain way. Even if your man is with you when you're out dressed like that. Say you out with your man, you dress like that, and somebody says something inappropriate to you. Now your man has to check the person who said something inappropriate, or to you he's looking like a coward. So now you're putting your man in a situation to where he's either gonna get in trouble or he might get hurt because you want to
Right.
dress wild and crazy.
Wow. Okay, I see. Rose said, she said, I don't agree. So I think she doesn't agree about the part where you said that normally if the woman if she has like nothing on, she really doesn't wear a lot of clothes. Most of the time a man doesn't really take her serious. Like he's not looking to wife her, but the more he's looking to be like, come, like that's my wife, that's my only one. He's more now wanting her to dress a certain way, not to show everything, right? I
We're
think
not
that's
talking
what.
about these starter dudes that ain't trying to do nothing in life. We're not
Right.
talking about the dudes that's the degenerate dudes that they marry anybody, whoever, whatever. If you actually trying to move and shake and actually do something out here and actually be on the scene, making progress in the community or society somewhere, you care about how your woman carries herself. Now, if
Right.
you just a dude from the hood who just want to wife somebody, it's different. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Those type of dudes don't care. Now, if you actually trying to make a difference in there or in the world or trying to do something, your woman needs to be presentable by your side because otherwise, when you're trying to make these big moves, people that's already there are looking at you like, look at your wife though. What you can't even control how your wife dressed and she looking like this and this and that, whatever. Why would we give you a seat at our table and what we doing if you can't even get your household together? Your household ain't right. Look at your wife. Look at your wife, her butt out, and we had a black tie affair. And your wife, look at how she dressed. We're not letting you into what we're trying to do. We're not
Mm.
letting you into this consortium or whatever we got going on.
Do I
I'm
got any
telling you,
more men that agree? Tony, what do you have to say? I know Rose, she's still in disagreement. She's like, everyone is different, and some men are not concerned about what outside people think at all. Um,
Ray and them, of course.
you said what?
I said Ray and Pookie and them. Yeah, they don't care about that.
He said Ray Ray and
Men
Pookie
care.
don't care about.
Men, men actually care.
Okay, Tony said he agrees. Any other men? I wish it was more men on here so we can see. Because I'm a woman. But I know like me dating men, or husbands and things like that. My husband, he'd be doing the same crazy stuff like, okay, you need to take that off. But like when you did meet them, you would be wearing certain things. You are like, because I remember certain things I wore. I'm like, I'm gonna wear this because I'm single. I could do whatever I want. But then when you do get, y'all serious, then they like trying to tell you what to wear. And I do understand. I guess now it kind of makes sense. I guess maybe they like, okay, no, you're exclusive to me, and I don't want anybody else seeing what you have. So I guess that does make sense. You know, in a case, I don't know every man and how they think, but that's why I got you on first perspective. Tony, oh yeah, he said, I agree with him. Melita said, if you go outside looking a certain way, then you only care about what the outside thinks, in my opinion. Because if not, just dress like that for your husband. You're right. That makes sense, I
That's
guess.
true. That's
Because,
true.
yeah, that is true.
And that's some lingerie type stuff. She could have wore that to bed somewhere with her dude.
Right. Like, right. Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense though. I guess that makes sense again. What Melita, that you hit it on it. You did. Cause that makes sense. It's and you know what I'm saying? Like if you go on, you know what I'm saying? If if your intent is to only, I guess, dress a certain way for your husband, you can do that somewhere else. You don't have to do it outside. So I get it. This is such a it's not a hard topic, but it's because of our society. I think it's hard now because, like you said, women's liberation and all this. Now it's no longer what my husband says. It's more, what I'm saying? Like we have our own lives, and we do. It's really hard with society nowadays. Rose is saying majority of the world is normal everyday people that prove that most people not trying to save the world. In other words, most people are pookies.
Well, let them die in their sins.
Well, I know. I'm trying to save the world. You see, I got my cape on, Rose. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to just change the perspective and outcomes because I believe that's the reason why there's so many divorces, not just the whole case, but a lot of times is why they're splitting, people split divorce, you can't get along. You know what I'm saying? This is probably why they're going to split over this one issue. And had she just maybe thought, you know what, let me not go on here with this on. And I know she's a star, so she really doesn't count. But, I think
This is
it's causing a decline in our families. I thought you
yeah.
had something
If
to
this
say,
is
Ken.
serious and not some antics to get some kind of traction for her name, if this is an actual serious situation, this really happened and it's authentic, I don't see them being together a lot longer.
Yeah, I don't think
I
so.
really
Because she
don't.
was going
I
in.
don't see
She
them
was,
being together a lot
yeah.
longer.
Yeah. The way she was doing him, I was like, "Oh gosh, she going in on him, TikTok."
That right there shows what all the most of the men are saying anyway. She doesn't have respect for him. She does not respect him. That's the whole bottom line to this whole thing. She don't respect the man.
Okay, yeah, Rose said, "I am married. I have never dressed like that. However, I don't have anything negative to say on the matter." And Melita said, "No, she doesn't." So she's saying no, that Keke doesn't respect her fiance or man or husband.
She don't respect at all. At all.
Yeah,
She don't respect.
because you will when you do respect, you just will kind of like, well, I'm not going to dress this certain way because of that. And I want to say this because this one, I want to because when you said that about a woman dressing a certain way, and if somebody comes up and is disrespectful because of the way you are dressed, right? It's the man's duty to now put hands on that guy or now to rectify the issue. And if he doesn't, we gonna be looking at you like you just see him smack my butt and you gonna not say nothing.
Yeah, you can see him say that to me, and you ain't gonna say nothing. You
You
just
gonna do
mad. Now
nothing.
y'all either gonna have problems at home, or you gonna have to get
Yeah,
into it with this man in public. So you
right.
just put me in a situation because you want to be out here flaunting your booty everywhere. Come on now.
Right. Yeah, and so that makes sense if we look at it that way, Rose. Let's look at it that way that you're protecting your husband. Now, like you said, some men you may have on, everything, whatever you want, and maybe he may not say nothing. He might just be like, whatever. And somebody could compliment you or hit you on the butt, and he might look the other way. I mean,
No, if your woman gets touched by another man in any kind of way, you got to put hands on that dude. Period. If he
yeah.
say the
I
wrong
mean,
thing, you got to put hands on him. Period.
right, but you can't put hands if that's how the woman wants to dress that way, right?
Well, if she putting you in this kind of situation, and you like, you know what? Eventually, I'm gonna end up going to jail because I got to put hands on somebody every time we go somewhere. You got to get rid of
Mhm.
that woman because it's
Yeah,
not gonna end well.
right. Yeah, it's just about protecting the relationship, protecting your mate too. Like they got to be a protector, but you also don't want to put them in a situation, a compromising situation where they just got to do something crazy because, of what you're doing. But I also think that it's so many women out here that dress so inappropriate nowadays that it's like it's nothing new. You get what I'm saying? And correct me if
Mhm.
I'm wrong, the men that's on here. If a woman was to dress, and I think Tony actually saying something like that, but if a woman was to dress like modest or really covered up, I think men would be like all over her. Like I think they would just like on,
All over.
like animal on
It's
some
a
meat. I
different
don't know.
thing. It's a change of thing. It's like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And then too, men can tell if a woman has a nice shape or not, no matter what she got going on. No matter what she got on, attire wise, we can tell. So you ain't got to do all that for us to know or to, whatever. We can
Right.
tell.
Oh wow. So Tony said he said I met two girls. I asked them if they're single. They said no. You see us in baggy clothes. If we was single, we would have tight dresses on. That makes sense. You don't hear nobody saying nothing like that. That's crazy. So I mean, and that's how it should be. They got baggy clothes on because they got respect. And even I used to say that like my dad, our dad used to always say this. One thing the Muslims got right is that they cover up. That's one thing they do. They cover up. They don't do nothing else. Even if their God is different, they cover up. And they do, and
They
it's
do.
because it's a respect level for their husbands. And
They even
American
cover their hair.
women we don't really require that or we don't think it's necessary, I think, but if that's the case, why are other religions doing it? Why do and it's because they don't want you to see what their wife has. They want to keep that for themselves. So yeah, I'm sure they don't want to wear all that hot stuff because I'm be like, mm-mm.
No, they don't want to wear all that, but
Yeah, but they do it because they have respect for the head. Rose said
it's
that's
self,
a
like
fact.
Lisa said, self respect too. It's self respect. It's respect for the Most High foremost, and it's respect for your guy.
Yeah,
It's just about respect at the end of the day. It's respect and principles. You
I
just
see Melita
don't do
said that
any
too.
other thing.
It's self-respect. Yeah, it is. It is. So, I mean, let's push it more, y'all. Let's try to dress a little bit better. And you know, I think we won't have these issues if we dress a little bit better and try to I know it's hard because again, we might have to make our own clothes because these clothes be horrible. They be showing everything. You be trying to find something nice and wholesome and still be bad stuff out here. So it ain't always all of us trying to, um but yeah, this is a great, great topic. I feel like like I said, I'm in the middle with this just because only thing I disagree with her man is that I just think that maybe he could have pulled her to the side, and not embarrassed her. Now, I don't know if this is something she always doing and maybe he needed to embarrass her because sometimes you got to if somebody keep doing the same thing. So we don't know that. I just know that, I know he went to social media, which I knew he knows that that would have got her attention. So we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. I do feel like Keke could have wore something different because I just look at Keke so sweet too. From her playing Aquila and the Bee, I just look at her, and I just look at her so wholesome because most of the time she did dress pretty wholesome. But things change, and I know she's growing up. She had her first baby, so she's feeling herself maybe. It could have just been a mistake because if it was just something simple, a mistake she thought she took it too far, they could have rectified it by him not really just putting her, out there like that. Now that he put her out there, she's mad. She's making diss songs and all kinds of stuff now. So it's just gonna go too far. But yeah. Rose, you said I can't even find a shirt that's full size. I'm telling you, the clothes are like they make things so tiny and so like to show every curve and everything. It's hard. It's really hard nowadays to find things. Now, what she had on, I know was just like because you can find something that's covering your butt cheeks.
Yeah, some lingerie.
Yeah, yeah, hers is a little bit overboard, but, the clothes nowadays are like, they don't make just they make everything so skimpy for women nowadays, so you really gotta be looking hard to try to wear something that's not inappropriate. So, if that's all I have, you guys. I appreciate you guys for joining in on the 5th episode of Heart of the Matter podcast. This replay will be on left here as well as on YouTube. Heart of the Matter podcast, as well as on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all those platforms. If you would like to check it out, share this live, and hopefully somebody has some good feedback for me or for us on next time. So we're gonna be joining you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Look forward to hearing from you. You guys have a blessed night. Bye bye.